August, and we're live. Welcome,
Wow, that was nice. You just jump right into the pool. Yeah.
welcome back to All of This Is Temporary. We have a very special episode, our
Man.
first
Oh.
ever, one and only, right between the uprights, down the center. We got a guest, SAL Luciano. What the hell's your last name?
Yeah, you said that pretty good. Thank you. Yeah,
But
it's Luciano, but
Luciano.
Yeah.
SAL Luciano in the house.
yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. Oh, I get
Sal, you
applause.
don't clap for yourself.
I get excited. I don't get many applauses in my life, so
Man, this is fun. We've been looking forward to having you in here. Sal is the host of my new favorite open mic down at Cheers Tavern, and I'm really, really appreciative.
that's awesome. Thank you.
What
That
you put
it's your
together.
favorite. We try very hard every day, every week. We try to put on the best show. I've been to many open mics since the time that I started doing comedy, and I always wanted to do one where people actually enjoy going to, because a lot of them are like they go and do it, they do their time, and then they're gone. You know,
Yeah.
they're on to the next.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
This last Friday was really fun. It seemed like
Yeah.
a nice little hang after.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to be. I mean, I don't know. I just get told what what you see from other comedians. Networking is what you have to do. I've been to other open mics in the valley where you go and do your time, and then there's another spot, so then you're off to the next spot.
Right.
There's no networking being done. There's no promoting on trying to get a more bigger feature show or something of that. Everything you do is to get recognition of what your thoughts and everything are being put out there.
Yeah.
So
Well, what's interesting too is what I think is what is necessary in like building a comedy career is finding a crew of people. So the networking, yes, but it's also the hang, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that a lot of people maybe get the cart in front of the horse where they go, "Oh, I want to build this career." Like when I first started getting into it, there was a young guy. Have you met what's his name? Oh shit, I forget his name. I hate on him super hard. He is the one that was like complaining about not getting up.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
When he first started.
Um,
Yeah.
Eric, is it like Spats or something like that?
I don't know.
Spitz, let's call him Eric Spitz.
I'm very good with faces. I'm terrible with names, so I bet I have seen him.
Well, he was just like charging so hard at trying to get his career going that he
Mhm.
forgot that this is supposed to be fun.
Oh
The
yeah,
whole thing is supposed to be a fun hang where you go tell some jokes on
Yeah.
stage and
Shit.
try to get people to laugh.
Yep.
And what's interesting about the Cheers experience is what I've learned is if you're bad, it's noisy.
Hmm.
If you're good, it's quiet. It means you've got their attention. Whether you take a shit on stage or not is kind
Yeah.
of up to you, but
Yeah.
being entertaining and engaging is what you find out if you have it based on whether or not it's loud or quiet in Cheers. When
Yeah.
it's quiet, it means they're fucking listening to you. And it's
Ye-
like,
And when I try new material, what I look for is actually the wait staff to like chuckle. If you get like
oh,
a
right.
if you get like a bartender or like the bar back to kind of chuckle at like some of your new stuff, that's when you know you have something, because those individuals hear all sorts of goddamn shit.
But Justin,
So-
don't steal your shit. Justin, don't you fucking take your shit, you motherfucker. I
Yeah.
told him.
Yeah,
I told him a
Justin.
joke that I meant to tell
Yeah.
last Friday, and I forgot. Somehow it didn't transfer to my paper.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. Do I burn it? All right, let's burn it here because nobody's listening. But I'm gonna tell it.
Yeah, hit it.
Next Friday.
Okay.
So I challenged myself to try to write a joke, and a street joke came to me. Okay.
Okay.
So what I do, and this is the hard part, I set this joke up every single time by saying, "I'm pretty sure I wrote this joke," but I hear a lot of jokes. So if you've heard this before, come see me after the show and fucking tell me that you've heard this before. And if you've heard this right now, joke dick it, interrupt me, and tell me the answer.
Okay.
What's the difference between blowjobs and first impressions?
I've never. Yeah, I'm gonna say I'd never heard of anything like this. So go ahead.
You only get one chance at giving a good first impression.
Yeah,
It's
I'll
so
give you.
good.
I
It's
don't think
perfect.
there's a bad blowjob out there. So
You've never had a bad blowjob.
I don't.
That leads me into my next joke.
Yeah. Blowjobs and sex is like pizza, right? There's even when it's bad.
Even when it's
So-
weird, you enjoy something.
When I told that joke, it was a part of a bigger joke. Actually, it was the punchline of a different joke where it's like, have you ever given midstream frustrated blowjob advice? Mid blowjob frustrated advice.
But you had to talk about last night. It's...
I've never had one.
Wait, we need a time out. Let's take a time out and regroup here. That's terrible. No, I've never have because well, I'm just glad that there's a lady out there that would be entertaining the time with me.
Aw.
See, I've had to say this phrase. Well, you have to suck it. A girl once told me I give bad blowjobs.
Okay.
And I was young. I'm like, there's no way this is a thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you fucking brushed my leg in the hallway, I'd have to, like, tell you, oh, this never happens to me. Give me a second. I'll
Yeah.
to go in another minute. But this girl, like, I don't know, she just didn't it was just like she just sort of was breathing on it and scraping her teeth. I don't know how she used her molars and stuff, but at one point I had to tell her, because she goes, what can I do to make it better? Literally in the act, and this was in the back seat of a car. And I go, well, you have to suck it. Because I'm like, she proved it to me that she couldn't, and I was like, man, I really didn't see this conversation.
I wonder how many other women get to hear about their boyfriends' blowjobs.
Right.
Yeah.
This one's going to be just between him and I. So,
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. I didn't hear
guys,
that.
I got to tell you, we look fantastic. This is such a fun setup. But can you scoot closer to the table?
Me?
Maybe? Yeah, 'cause you're kind of cut off.
To do.
We gotta-
Yeah.
We gotta make sure that our local
Musician.
hot bunny appears on screen.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh, yeah.
glass over there. Watch out there.
I know. I'm got it like dangerous. Right
Luckily, the studio is set up to where we have all of the
fidgety.
recording equipment right next to, like, I think you're supposed to carry the glass of water across the main item every time. Is what
Oh, okay.
that's what I'm gonna do. So
Yeah.
So anyway, welcome to All of This Is Temporary, that show where we sit down and we entertain 4 or 5 people. They are Greg, Terrell, Steve. No.
Oh, you know your audience by first name, huh?
They're only the people that we...
Yeah, well, welcome.
Richie,
Hello.
Richie makes his appearances all the time.
Dedicated listener.
Oh, Sam is in.
Shout out to Sam.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
played a murder mystery game with Sam and Nicole last night. So
Did you solve it?
we
We
did.
yeah. It's a really
Nice.
fun game. So it's a box, and in the box is just one crime, and you work together. You can work in teams. You have like witnesses and crime scene stuff, like what
Basically,
evidence,
like an
You have to
evidence.
figure out
Yeah.
which of and there's always like a handful of suspects. So
Yeah.
you have to pick which of the suspects actually did it. It's so fun.
It's a cold case that has all of the clues to be a solved case. Which brings us to, I
Uh-oh.
can't believe we invited the cops
Yeah.
to the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Former retired police officer right here.
Former retired means he's active duty.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Former
Retired.
police officer.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Put the weed away, babe. Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, you can smell it
16
everywhere.
years. 16 years with Phoenix.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Amazing. I come
Um,
from a family of cops.
That's good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Actually, the
We're
event.
actually going to a memorial today for my grandfather.
Yeah. All cops. Their name is
Even
Cop.
even the last name is Cop.
Yeah.
you're in good hands.
That's crazy. Well, I didn't become one because like of like a long lost dream or anything like that. I just didn't want to go to school. And I got all C's in high school, so it just naturally progressed into like, what can I do that doesn't really require a whole lot of mental thinking,
What was
but
the-
has like a career that's respected. Oh, police work. That's what I'll do.
Who said it paid a little better than the post office?
Yeah, pay a little better. Yeah.
Like,
Plus,
I get it.
wearing a badge is kind of cool. You know, that's about it.
What's your badge number?
9023. Yep, with Phoenix. Yep,
902-3.
Yep.
90210?
90230. But
Yeah,
what's up, Matthew Perry?
yeah, yeah. You can nick me. Yeah.
Well, what's I mean, so were you a street cop?
Yeah, patrol, third shift, my entire career.
Third shift is that
The
It's a nighttime
midnight
one.
graves, yeah,
okay?
from 9 at night to 7 in the morning.
Nice.
And I patrolled pretty much every aspect of Phoenix.
I mean, that's when the shit goes down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the third shift is the greatest shift because if something goes down, it's a big deal. But a lot of you don't have to deal with shoplifters because all the stores are closed. You don't really have
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
you don't have to deal with like uh, traffic accidents other than DUI stuff. But like
Those
the
are fun.
yeah, but outside of like, oh man,
What
it's
was the
like
craziest shit you pulled on somebody? Like where you like, hell, son, do a flip. Try do. You know what? We're gonna add to this. Can you?
oh, you mean
test?
the, like doing the field sobriety test? Oh, so I've been
I love that Reno 911 skit where she's like, bump, bump, bump.
Oh yeah,
and you gotta no I've always had this messed up brain, right? Like as a person that tries to be funny all the time or whatever, like you'd have the one serious officer out there, he's doing the field sobriety test, he's checking the eye stagnus and stuff like that, and then you'd be there and you'd be like, all right, cartwheel time. Like, if you can do this, we're gonna let you off. And you would get it to the point where the person believed you, and it's like, nah,
Having a good time.
you crashed into somebody's
That's
house,
how you
bro.
know
We
they're
can't.
drunk if they actually believe you.
Yeah,
Because it's like if you're sober, you're like, fuck, no, what? That's not part
yeah,
of the test.
yeah. Your car is in somebody's pool right now. We are not letting
We
you
know
go
you're
home.
not sober.
You're not sober.
So you were a cop basically like for all of the beginning of the 2000s, like 2000 to like
2002,
2015.
I went to the academy in October of 2006, and I patrolled my last day in November of 2019.
Okay.
So during
That's a
that,
big transformation in Phoenix.
yeah,
Oh, man.
we went from, and it's crazy because you don't think about it because it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it is a long time ago. We went from like literally having to take the computer out of the car and going back to the station to dock it to do your reports, and
Okay.
a lot of the reports were like almost handwritten, and then called it into like a operator that would write it out for you, to like physically doing everything like off of a MacBook inside the car,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like if you had like a really big situation, you'd have to go to like a firehouse to do your report like in the beginning, and like now they can do everything. They can print out a ticket.
That's
They can,
wild, right? Because the
yeah.
technology, the technology.
Oh, yeah.
You know those guys on
N-
TikTok at
no,
all?
I don't. I don't watch nothing of that stuff. I gotta
Okay.
start though.
I gotta
I mean,
start.
that,
You don't do that
you
very
don't
often.
do it because you will literally like
Get
you will
lost.
start time traveling.
Yeah.
Sit down to like kill a few minutes. So I take TikTok and I put it on the phone just on the weekends because
Mhm.
you catch up. TikTok will give you some good news, but you really have to filter through some bullshit because it lies to you.
Yeah.
It will just straight up show you a deep fake, where they take, your name,
Face.
image,
Oh,
likeness,
image
and
likeness.
they can make you with AI, they can make you say anything.
Is I've heard about this, and like you'll see celebrities
Yeah.
doing stuff that you're like, why is he pitching, you know, some random object that
Rogan famously is being
AI?
basically used
Well, because
to
he's got
sell
such a
stuff.
Oh,
strong
yeah.
following, right?
No, it's about the AI can take if you have anything recorded after today, and this
Mhm.
lives on the internet, we will be able to ask the AI to make you do literally anything.
Yeah.
Make him throw a child down a well. Make an image, do a
See that
video of
But
him.
it has to be within the parameters of what's been pre-programmed by the
No.
software. So,
Well, yes, of
like,
course,
yeah.
but they don't need much. The point is, for Rogan, they said that you only need like him to say 4 or 5 words,
yeah.
and they can just reconstruct an
Mm.
entire podcast between two people, a 3-hour podcast, and it'll be relatively
That
interesting.
See, that's why I always thought, like going back to the police thing, well, females make the best detectives. They can cut through bullshit. Like you get like an ex-girlfriend of somebody and they'd be right away be like, "No, that's AI. That motherfucker wouldn't talk like that. I know how he enunciates his A's." But for men, we would just be like, "Yeah, that's Joe Rogan. Yeah, he's pitching golf clubs."
You can catch it because there are definitely like some changes in like the pauses. Like you'll hear him like when he says it's very robotic, but
Mm.
dude, it's so close.
Yeah.
You're like you gotta like key in and be
Mhm.
like, oh, is this real? But anyway, so TikTok, I put it on my phone on Saturday to give me a little bit of news, and then I fact check it and give me a couple funny clips. Like I have some clips that we were gonna play, but
Yeah.
since I'm a technology,
Take a
we
look.
do no clips of today. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like a lot of people, we like to talk about, like when the robots take over the world, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I have this image of like,
It's happening right now.
like the robots that are like kind of broken and don't work very well. They're going to be like the new Walmart greeters
Oh.
today. But like, I wonder, like, do you think cops could be replaced by robots?
Absolutely, they already are.
Like,
RoboCop,
so
man.
we'll just have RoboCops
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the future.
Robots, I do a bit about that. Like, you know how everybody's always worried about Mexicans taking jobs? I
Yeah.
always say like robots are taking jobs. There's out in Chandler, one of my favorite, shout out to Can't Stop Smoking Barbecue. It's
Oh,
a
the barbecue
restaurant.
joint?
It's a great
Alright.
restaurant.
Can't stop, won't stop. Is there a can't stop, won't stop plate on the menu?
No, honestly, I don't know, but their ribs are good. But
Like
when
all
you
you can eat.
Endless.
Yeah.
I can't stop, won't stop.
But when you order your food at the counter, right? You order your food, they give you a ticket, then you take your ticket and you go to your table and you sit down. And then out of nowhere, this Rosie the robot comes out from, holding a
Oh,
tray.
I've seen that.
And it goes like,
Yeah.
number 12, your ribs are done. Number 12. And
I
I,
think Solo, there's a spot that has that.
yeah, but it's
Which is crazy.
scary. It's scary. I knocked the tray off of that thing. I'm like,
here's
I
the
want
thing.
Hector to bring my ribs out. Where's Javier? Like,
Exactly. I don't
Stuff on you, you're like,
yeah.
robots are not
I'm sorry.
for that kind of industry, because the reason why people go out to eat is to like be around other people, not to be around more robots.
Yeah.
So I
And
don't think, I think we're good.
QT has the little. Have you gone to QT?
Not lately.
QT has like the Roomba, the room. Am I saying it right? The Roomba robot, but it's a larger.
The robot.
Yeah, it's larger to clean the floor, and it's got like a robot face, and it tells you like taquitos are 2 for 1 today, and you're like turn around and you're like,
Holy shit! It's also advertised.
yeah. And it's like, all right.
They are.
And it's like, oh, you know what? I do want some taquitos. Thank you. Do you have a name? Like you're gorgeous. Like the clean floors, and you tell me about food options.
Remember, this was the oldest robot. When I was a kid, I remember this from when I was 5 years old. My buddies, the rich people who lived down the street, they were babysitting us, and they had a robot that was just a remote control robot that it had a tray. It was just like, it would look like a little R2D2 guy with a tray.
Okay.
And so you could just put a beer on the tray and then it would deliver it to the table.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So this is the oldest, and it took this many years. It took 40 years for them to implement it at QT and also make it clean up the.
And if you had that kind of technology in the 80s, you were probably like, dude, these people, would they invent like the color red or something? Like they're rich as hell to have like a robot like this. But like now, yeah, we're like 2 or 3 years away when there's gonna be robots everywhere.
Dude,
Oh, it's
I'm looking forward to
amazing
it. Honestly, I'm gonna
Really?
embrace it. Fuck yeah, dude! I'm tired of working. I want to
guess.
tell the robot to do all this shit I don't have time for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, here's what I really think, okay? I think that with AI and with the robotic future, money goes away. It will be the undoing of the rich by their own inventions, because there's an AI program right now. It exists and it works, that will invest money for you and make you money unconditionally, and it never stops trading. All you have to do is plug in the parameters
Looking over your soul.
to buy low, sell high, and cut your losses. Sometimes you have to guide it at how to cut losses and when to stop cutting losses, because it will continue to reinvest. So you have to You just have to program it,
Mhm.
and it will nonstop trade. It will nonstop trade Bitcoin or stock options. What that means is everyone can get rich, and what that means is money no longer means anything. So
Yeah,
now you're in a
I like it.
meritocracy where you actually have to be a valuable human being in order to be a high value human being, in order to have the extra shit. I think that when the robots can do everything for us, your basics are cared for. Now, if you're a go-getter, that's how you get the trips.
Yeah.
You wanna go visit France? Well, you have to work. But your food, water, shelter, space is cared for by the robots. You want to go learn how to surf? Well, you got to work to learn how to surf. But you don't have to work nearly as hard to just stay alive. So that
Yeah.
feeling of I got to earn this can disappear in a couple of generations.
I I get what you're saying, but the thing that scares me is like I've seen clips like I think it's Tesla that has like this like all out like helper bot
Yeah.
and it's like
The
watering
Optimus.
yeah, it's like watering the plants around the house so it lets dad have a little bit more time for himself. Then it starts playing Parcheesi with the kids at the table. Like when does the wife just go like, "Hey, we need to talk.
Yeah. The wives are being
C3PO and
replaced.
I are getting along great. There's really no need for you to be here
Oh, the
anymore."
husband gets replaced. You got it all
Yeah, dude,
backwards.
It
you
sounds
You
like
see?
the bot's doing the
no,
wife's
dude.
work because
That's
it can
right.
even do everything.
Yeah.
Because also the first robots that we made were the sex dolls.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Fuck.
I don't know. I just watched that Tesla commercial, and this robot is doing everything. It's taking the kids to practice. It's putting food in the refrigerator. Eventually, your wife is going to be like, "This,
Is there a Tesla commercial?
yeah, look, look it up."
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna find it while you guys
Are we
keep talking.
putting stuff on the screen?
I should be able to send it to
Yeah.
the screen, yeah, but I don't
Yeah,
know
you'll see.
the
He
sound.
waters the plants.
We won't hear the sound on the
Everything.
screen. We'll put it up.
Here's the thing though, like plants need carbon. What do we emit?
Carbon dioxide.
Dioxide? What?
Uh,
Yeah, they need that to grow, and so that's part of like when a human is watering a plant, it needs that, and children need that interaction with a human. So I don't know how long that would actually last, but there are always going to people who are going to
so
try to automate.
I'm just so old school. I love gas, like in my vehicles, and like I want like engine rattling, oil spilling on the driveway, and like when I see people with like electric cars and everything, I'm like, just
Oh, I got one of those.
Mhm. He does, yeah.
I have everything though. Here's
the old car over here.
the Tesla.
No, no, the
Which
you got
old
like
car?
what is it, a Wagoneer that's underneath this?
Oh, that's a Jeep F. That's a full size
Hey, there you go.
truck.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, bring
that,
that
the
thing back
59
out.
Chevy's also mine out
There you
there.
go.
So that
Yeah.
everything you had to drive past, that's my gate.
Yeah.
But I've got a diesel, I've got a gas, and I've got electric. And here's why. I'm a
Okay.
mechanic.
Okay. Uh-huh.
It's better.
Yeah.
100,000% ospedania. It's better.
The electric car.
Electric.
1,000%.
Without a doubt, and it even goes faster.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I don't. If I was a female, I would not like. Not to get graphic on you, my vagina would dry up seeing a guy coming by in an electric car. I want gas. I want a brontosaurus strapped to the
I don't
back.
know. If it
Spoken
goes,
like
if it
every
goes,
female I've ever met.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
No, they do. I think so.
if
You
it
like
looks expensive, she's getting wet.
yeah,
Some girls like the roar of an engine.
yeah.
Most women
Don't care.
prefer. So here's the deal: when at the turn of the last century, when
Mhm.
the automobile made its appearance into the scene as the industry revolutionized the world, right? As oil was coming up with the big industrial revolution, automobiles were on the scene. There were three main kinds. There was gasoline, steam powered, and electric.
All right, yeah, I know that.
Okay, so
Oh, I'm from Detroit. I know all about the auto industry.
then
Yeah.
you might know that women and fancy men is what they were called. That's what they were called in the day, just a
Yeah,
dandy,
a
bit of a
dandy,
dandy
a
boy.
little
Preferred,
metrosexual now, but
preferred the electric because back in the day, the gas cars shot out exhaust and
Mhm.
everything, and they were messing old.
you're dirty
Remember
and
that
oily.
first time you took me out in the Chevy
And
out front?
she was riding like a dog with her head out the window.
Because the gas tank is inside the cab, so,
Yeah,
and it was so
strong.
strong. I've never smelled
And
it
he just
before.
tries to knock you out.
I told her she'll never be allowed.
I had
gonna
to
pass
toughen
out.
up. He wasn't gonna let me in the truck again if I was gonna act like that.
No, but the,
That's
the
just
the reality is, if they had been working on that technology the whole time, batteries would be
right.
more advanced. But
It got what is the term? It got s- suppressed.
sideline. No,
Yeah,
it was. I
sidelined.
think it was
Yeah.
natural because back then kerosene was how houses were lit.
Mhm.
Kerosene lamps. When you crack oil, you get kerosene at one level, you get some diesel, and then you get gasoline at the top level. If you've
Yep.
ever seen cracking, all you do is you put it in a tower, a cracking tower, and then it separates into different layers, and gasoline's at the top.
Yeah.
So gasoline was literally a byproduct of generating the kerosene that was required to light all people's houses. This was before electricity was in all the homes.
Yeah.
Once the electricity went into the homes, we should have switched. But by then, they had already figured out that they can sell us this gasoline, so we'll continue chugging this stuff out of the ground. They had already established it, but it was by default. It was because there was a leftover byproduct
Mhm.
that was free to use. And then once they had it, it's like, okay, we're just going to keep using that instead of converting to electricity, which is the far better method of getting around. Flailing parts inside of an engine is not, it is a latent.
Like you brought out all of the reasoning and logical. You got it all down. You did a good job. You sold it. But the moving parts is what makes me feel this car is alive. Like there's combustion going on. There's a controlled explosion in this engine. Like we could die.
Yeah.
If the wrong thing were to happen, like we could blow up. Like that adrenaline. I want a bird to fall from the sky. Like when I hit my
Yeah.
acceleration. Like
You should try snowboarding. No,
ripping on trying to save the world and being green. I'm done with that at this point.
yeah.
I'm over.
I'm over it. These kids today it's not even worth trying to save it for them anyways. They're terrible.
Yeah, I also just feel like have everything. Try, do everything. If they had a steam powered car, I'd have one of those too. But I mean, I'm sure they do.
Jay Leno has one, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
Jay Leno.
but he also burned half his face off with
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
didn't he steam his face off, or did he
He's seeing it. It did something happen
or
there.
was it one of his old gas motors?
I
'Cause he had all
I
kinds.
think it was the steam engine one.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
I think it really was. Yeah.
Dude, you ever tell like jokes and then you're like caught in you feel like you're in the zeitgeist? So when Jay Leno recently fell down that hill,
Hmm.
I was like, oh my God, he's turning into Wile E. Coyote,
Oh yeah.
where it's
Yeah.
like, at one point he like literally he has a rocket bike. He's literally straps himself to a rocket,
Hmm.
just like Wile E. Coyote does. He caught himself on fire, like explosions, Wile E. Coyote. Then he fell down a comically long hill. And then that same week, we were listening to the Protect Our Parks podcast with Rogan and Gillis and Mark Normand and Ari Shafir,
Hmm.
and they fucking said they were like, oh yeah, he's having like Wile E. Coyote injuries.
Yeah.
You ever feel like the jokes are their own thing and we're just picking
Yeah.
up?
If you have a good sense of humor, and I feel like you guys do, and I do, like you'll have an idea. Like funniness comes from a certain place, right? So you'll draw like an idea. There's multiple times where I'll find something I'm like, oh, that's funny, and then subconsciously a day later I'm watching a Netflix special and a comedian says it
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
right
it
on
happens all the
stage,
time.
and
Yeah.
you're like, I didn't copy this motherfucker. I didn't even know he was thinking this. Um, one in particular was George Lopez. Um, it was right after I had my first child, my son. My wife had showed me how to install the car seat. And unlike when we were young, like you went home in a box, you
Yeah.
just stood in the back of the car. There's like belts that go this way, there's belts that go this way, there's serpentine belts this way. And I'm like, dude, where's this guy going to the moon? He's taking his and word for word, George Lopez did that like on his special. And I
Wow.
was like, yeah, it all comes kind of from the same place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think there's like a zeitgeist, like it's its own set of information and then we're like tuning into it. It's like
Yeah.
so whoever is tuning in the most gets to win the prize. But then you have to format it.
You got format it.
That's the hard part.
Make
And
it
you can
digestible.
even have similar premises, right? Similar premises, like with the Puff Daddy trial that's going
Oh,
on,
of course.
right? you know, the first thing I start to listen to all the stuff on the news is, you know, 1,000 bottles of baby oil, 1,000. You know, I don't think I've ever known anybody to go through 1 bottle of baby
Yeah.
oil.
Right, that doesn't live in your cabinet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's your
lives
whole
in your
life.
cabinet.
Pass it on to your
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even with
your
the cap off, it won't evaporate.
yeah, your grandmother still has it in her medicine cabinet. The label is faded, and yet you hear comedians go, and you're like, "Damn it, I was working on that."
See, mine is if his name is somewhere between, if your name is somewhere between did he and diddle, he did
Oh yeah,
it.
damn
But what
sure.
I want to know, so here's the crazy thing that like hits me about that whole thing. Wasn't he in trouble for like sex trafficking? And but the whole trial is about how freaky he is.
Yeah,
It's all
Yeah,
about
because they're
the
trying
sex
to cover
party.
up their sex
Yeah.
trafficking. That's the whole
It's like,
thing.
so that's what we're gonna try him for? Is
the
being
thing,
being the best
the,
freak?
Yeah, if we're
well,
throwing the best parties, that's not a crime.
the thing that people don't realize about sex trafficking is you are trafficking an object, a female, a child, some to another party, right?
Mhm.
So if you get in trouble for sex trafficking, you're going to open the door to who are your customers that you are trafficking this person to. And a lot of people with a lot of money don't want that information.
Right. No, exactly right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No,
very
I think we're all on the same page with yeah, they're not looking real
No,
hard at
no.
what actually happened.
Stooth.
no.
Yeah.
So speaking of though in the news,
Mhm.
this is something that I learned today that you said you didn't look at the news. The
Yeah.
United States has officially joined the conflict and has bombed Iran this morning.
Yep.
Did you know that?
I
The
heard about
Ghostbusters?
it.
Oh, okay.
I do have a cell phone. So
Okay.
like when I'm not looking
You
at
get
porn and
notifications.
directions, news feeds do pop up.
Wait, babe, you can look at porn on your phone?
Wait, you can have directions?
You can look at porn on your phone? Well,
Yeah.
that's just crazy to me.
It used to go smaller in size each year until we could get
Then they
porn
got
on
bigger.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Then the screen got real big.
Once
Right?
there's a screen.
Yeah.
It is crazy that we've entered the war though under the same pretense. It's a fake, you know, they don't have any actual proof. They're not showing us proof. You remember back in when we joined the Iran or the when we attacked Iraq,
Hmm.
we proved it that they had weapons of mass destruction, the WMD
Yeah.
scare, and they did it with a computer simulation is what they showed us
Okay.
as a this is what they could.
Everything you say, I'm just gonna take for.
You
Yep.
don't remember
Yeah.
this?
Sure.
Well, I remember this very. So it was Colin Powell, who was the
Okay.
defense secretary at the time, and he showed the nation a computer rendering, an animated computer rendering of what could have happened, where they could have had weapons of mass destruction, and that was how they sold the whole country. And they just did the same exact thing. They tried to attack Iran back then, and every few years since then, Netanyahu has been announcing that they're weeks away from being able to have
Yeah, since like
nuclear
2006.
bombs, and he just did.
You went to the police
It's
academy.
literally been 20 years of him saying they could,
Hmm.
but actually it's longer than that because it was yeah about 20 plus years.
Say anything. I mean, you
Yeah.
really can't. Yeah. Am I gonna be like, well, let me just go over there and we'll find out ourselves?
That's
Yeah.
what
You can't.
That's what they.
I
expect
gotta
you
go.
to
You
do.
know, cut trees to pay a light bill.
So we
Something
So
else is going on. Like they're in cahoots, the Trumps, the Bushes.
Okay,
There's something else going on that we don't really know
they're
about.
together,
It goes
and
back.
then it must be really cool to be like really rich and of power to get in a room with other people, and
You asked me about conspiracies.
yeah,
Here's
earlier.
here's a
Yeah.
crazy one. This is not a conspiracy. This is simple history. Okay.
Okay.
You know who Nikola Tesla was?
Yes.
Okay. Great inventor.
Yep.
Pretty much the most prominent inventor of all time.
Mhm.
Like he is single-handedly responsible for incandescent light bulbs, AC power, solar,
The way we use
charging stuff,
electricity,
you know,
the way that's all.
X-rays, like
Yeah.
radio waves,
Gamma
Funny
rays.
enough, we don't learn
sending
anything about
technology
him
to
in
the TV.
school.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't learn about him.
Not a
No.
damn
He was
thing.
erased. At the time of his death,
Mhm.
he had somewhere between 80 and 240 trunks of inventions and papers. There were two people that presided over whether or not those trunks were going to be useful information. They decided there was no useful information in those trunks of the most predominant inventor of all time. Guess who
Wait.
these two people were?
Made some bangers, and then along with those bangers, it was like
Big
a,
secret.
a steel wire toothbrush.
Sure. Yeah. Guess who the two people? There were two people at the top of the heap. One of them was named Venemir Bush,
Hmm.
who is in the Bush family. And the other
Okay.
one was named John Trump
Oh yeah.
in the
Trump
Trump family.
Family.
So since then,
Mm.
I mean, this goes back
It's getting
forever.
deep.
It's the same people, it's the same families in control of the country forever. And the Bush name, I was like, let's go. How far back does Bush go? The Bush name dates back to the London Company that sent 3 ships in 1606. And one of the guys from the London Company impregnated a native woman, and she had 14 kids. And of that 14 descendants, we have the Bush family. As if I'm correct, if all that dates back correct.
Yeah.
So this is just the longest lasting control arm you've ever seen in your life, and we're all just lucky to be breathing
That-
air.
that-
air.
I
These
gotta
are the
say-
two families that have brought us to war in the Middle East in like the last 2 decades.
Yes, it's crazy.
And this is
Sal.
all within 100 years of when those trunks were.
And like,
found. It's
what-
very strange.
What's amazing about that is that they were able to do that for that such longevity. Because I tell you right now, if my dad gave me his business, I'd probably bankrupt that thing with it.
Or sell.
Sell
Yeah.
it to the like.
Oh, they've
like
tried to
I-
bankrupt it a few times, I think, but it keeps bouncing
Yeah.
back at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our favorite conspiracy theory. That is probably fact.
I mean, it's not a conspiracy.
yeah.
It's just history. So
Yeah.
what's crazy is they call you a conspiracy theorist and they try to throw shade at you. And as soon as
Yeah.
you say anything, they go aliens, and then that discredits whatever you're saying. But now aliens
Yeah,
are
but-
real,
Mhm.
and so they can't even discredit you with
Well,
that.
they didn't even start throwing around the term conspiracy theory until Kennedy was shot, and people were like,
Yeah.
"Wait, what? Who shot him?"
Mhm.
Conspiracy theory.
You're full of shit.
You know, it's just gaslighting when you're trying to
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, let's get back to comedy. Let's do.
I'm getting cold. The fireplace went away.
No, it did that on its own
Oh,
from
it
the
did?
other computer. It just
Oh.
decided it was tired,
I'm
and
excited. I'll put my glasses away.
it just stopped for whatever reason. You know how technology does around here.
Yeah.
We do. Are you recording, by the way?
I have been checking, dude. We this is a plague where sometimes it'll just become fuzzy and stop. So
Mhm.
I don't worry. I closed everything and reopened it fresh. We're in good shape.
Awesome.
We're actually already at almost 40 minutes. So
Holy moly.
let's do
Shit.
your bits.
Yeah.
So
Bit away.
so she's
Oh,
getting
no.
ready to do
Do some comedy.
comedy
Heck
at
yeah. And
Cheers.
cheers. All right.
You know,
So
you're gonna be the
59th Avenue in Bell. Cheers.
Friday
World
nights.
famous. Glendale,
It's such a
Arizona.
good spot.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's so fun because it's so welcoming.
Yeah.
You know, it just feels
Good.
like, you're
Yeah.
comfortable.
You don't want to
there.
kick anybody out, at least unless they do something bad.
Dude, the hosts are intimidating because I think maybe they're uncomfortable or something, but a lot of hosts are like Garrett.
Mhm.
Have you been to his open mic over there at Bridget's?
One time, yeah.
Okay. He's great, but it is such an unwelcoming room with
Yeah.
the ice machine going and country music in the
Yeah.
other room.
And I,
So it's like it's separate.
you're a tall guy. How tall are you? You're like
6 foot.
6 foot
Mhm.
something, right? That I feel like every time I'm at Bridget's, the ceiling is coming lower, like on you. Like am I?
Well,
and
the theory is you want low ceilings for tight laughter feedback. Nobody's
nah,
laughing.
it feels like you're getting pressed.
Dude, it's all comedians.
Not
So
the
nobody's
pressure you
I'm
laughing.
gonna come out a prune. I'm gonna just all my juiciness is just gone.
It is so uncomfortable because it's a room full of comedians
Yeah.
and nobody's laughing because they're all just thinking about their own shit.
And a very a Mexican girl that's very she never does jokes, but like she will comment on everything you say.
Oh,
When
yeah.
really?
when I've been
Like a
there.
heckler?
Yeah, yeah. And
Really?
it's like, come on, Rosita, if you want to.
Are you married?
Yeah, I'm married.
I was gonna say, all right, maybe we gotta fucking see if Rosita wants to see what's up with
No.
Rosita Salado.
Yeah, you can come. Bring it. At this stage, I've been married for 15 years.
Oh, that's right. Marianne.
Yeah.
1 kid.
3 kids.
3 kids.
3
huh?
kids.
How old are they?
I got a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 9-year-old.
Mm.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, it's just kind of, and it was all during the time that I was on third shift. So I always tell my wife, are they even mine?
Yeah.
Because like they're all very intelligent, and I'm furthest from that. So, but anyways, come on, hit me with it. Let's see
You want
what you
me to
got.
give
I
my
want some. I
jokes?
want some premises. Yeah, yeah.
God. So my boyfriend wants me to try comedy.
Mm.
I didn't know he was a voyeurist. I
Mm.
think he just wants to see me up here eating a dick. Such a
All right, so
cuck.
let's get into that. Yeah, so we kind of trimmed it down. The joke is obviously,
I have a few different ways to tell that, but that's what we have right now.
voyeurism, and being on stage is equivalent to sometimes you'll just eat a fucking raw dick on stage,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on myself. I'm pretty impatient. I've really turned into a jerk as I've gotten older. I haven't always been so mean. I used to be fat. All right, that one needs some work.
The funny thing is, jokes never work. You have to just hit him with the bit.
But see,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. I like the, but I feel like in today's day and age, fat people are starting to become
Mean,
just as mean and
Just
yes.
bitchy,
as me.
because the internet and black guys have convinced them.
That's true.
Because the internet and black guys, that's fucking hilarious. There you go. That's the addition. So write
Yeah.
that down.
Yeah,
Write
write
that
that
down.
down.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
great.
used to
Of
be
course.
black guys.
But now with the internet and black guys, these fat bitches are mean too.
Yeah.
You don't have to be nice at all.
No,
That's
people
too
hide
funny.
behind their, what is that, keyboard. They troll people.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
right
yeah.
behind the screen. Yeah.
I'm behind the screen all the time. I'm in marketing. I work in tech.
Okay.
Um, I'm good at my job. I get everything done, and I'm a hard worker. But someone called me a corporate Karen a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago.
A corporate
One
Karen.
of my colleagues called me a corporate Karen.
On a call, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not a corporate Karen. So as
That's
soon
kind
as we
of,
got off, I went
I,
straight
I
to
don't know.
HR.
I don't know what a corporate Karen is, but I would tell you that a person that says I'm not a corporate Karen would be something a corporate
Yeah.
Karen would say.
Well,
Well, that's
exactly. So yeah, the end of the joke is
that's why I went to HR and reported him.
You corporate Karen.
Sounds like
He did call me a corporate Karen, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was
It's
the
all
what
right.
was the
He's
reason?
gonna
What's the
figure it
reason
out.
for it? What was his
He's not
reason?
doing his job, and I'm having to pick up the slack. And
Uh-huh.
I
And then you
asked
commented.
him. I
Yeah.
asked him straight up,
Yeah.
"Why didn't you do this thing that I needed you to do
Dude.
for our boss?" And
Is he younger?
he goes, "Whoa, I don't do the
Yeah.
corporate Karen thing." And I said,
Motherfucker.
How old is he? Yeah, he's got to be young.
27.
Yeah.
He
Young
just
people
turned
don't.
27.
Young people don't do shit, dude.
No,
And then and like they're not expected to do anything.
No.
they're not. They
Like
don't know anything.
yeah.
I have some clips
It's
that I
like
wanted to bring up. I really wish I had them because it's a new TikTok that just came across my feed, and it's the Island Boys. Remember those guys?
yeah.
So there's a following where guys are like either it's guys that are dressing alike, tattooing the shit out of their
Their
face,
face.
and then it was saying like doing just the
Stupid.
most annoying cringe shit.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to a guy who's looking at the screen. He's got a pen. He's like, let me write that down. So let me see if I got this straight. So you said so far, ain't nobody gonna flip my whip. New check the flows. Is that right? And it's just like the great, and then it cuts back to because it replays. So
Yeah.
it cuts immediately back to him saying it, and you're like, that is exactly what he said. Nah saying write that down. So what I've got you saying is nah saying check the flow. Is that right?
Yep, that's it. You got it.
Just saying nothing and getting
Wait.
millions of views.
Wait till 200 or 300 years from now. Like we look at like Winston Churchill and like all of these, and they have their little quotes and quotations, and you're like, it's an inspiring speech.
Yeah.
300 years from now, there's gonna be in quotation
Dude,
marks.
that's all I think when I watch some shit. I'm like,
People in the future are gonna be like, that motherfucker was inspiring.
He had something to say.
fuck is happening?
What the fuck?
That's just crazy. I got gangster grandma trouble on here.
Oh no.
So
Um,
this was fun
Love
because
her, by the way.
you were part of it.
Yeah.
I had never met her.
yeah.
Oh, that was your first meeting
Yes,
Yeah,
so
this
of
was
her.
awkward on my fault.
yeah.
I have a tendency to make things awkward.
Well, and she had
And
expectations for how it was gonna
I
go.
Oh,
Yes, you
expectate that this is a lie. I had no expectation.
I am throwing myself under the bus on this one because
mhm.
I responded poorly because it's like I was going to do comedy. I had never met this woman.
Okay.
And no offense, but she sort of rattled a lot. She was talking nonstop.
She was telling jokes in the car on the way over. I
Yeah.
was like, you got to tell this on stage.
Yeah.
But then she's like, as soon as she started with, I'm going to tell you my story, I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Doing?
So she calls me when I'm on my way down. I'm like pulling in to the mic and she's like, "Hey, will you put her on?" And I go, because I've never met her
Yeah.
and I'm trying to like make a good impression at
Yeah.
the mic, but I know everyone's welcome, right?
Yep.
But I'm like, also, if I put her name on, I'm kind of vouching for her. And so I'm pinched like under the wheel a little bit. And I'm a sensitive guy. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
You're so sensitive.
what? So it like shifts the whole dynamic because I'm in my mode. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to do these jokes. I'm gonna try to have a good time. I'm gonna try not to sweat through my fucking pit stained shirt. Which, by the way, your mic is the only one that makes me feel comfortable where I'm not like, no, your open mic
Oh, okay.
is the only one
Like,
I'm not like sweating through where I'm like,
really?
yeah, because it's comfortable because it's just a
Okay.
room of people having a fun time
Yeah.
versus a stage with a spotlight and
Where-
you're on.
Let me ask you this: like, where is one that you're like, dude, I hate that room. I could never do that one.
So far, Bridget's is bad. The worse than Bridget's experience, and I have not done a ton of mics.
Yeah.
So I'm going off limited experience. I've been doing it for a couple of years, but I mainly do the stand-up open mic at Stir Crazy. That's where
Yeah.
I've mainly only done it. Like,
Yeah.
so I just sign up and I only go up like once a month
Oh.
because it's hard to get up there.
Yeah.
But the Red Band's room at his club in Austin, I
Yeah.
did the open mic there a month ago.
Nice.
So I signed up for Kill Tony and
Mhm.
wanted to go on the show. Didn't get called up, obviously. Otherwise, I'd be fucking trying.
We would have 20 people listening to
Yeah,
this podcast.
exactly.
There would be so many people.
There would be so many people.
But yeah, I did Red Band's open mic, and it was the worst because it's a room. There are a bunch of chairs
Yeah.
facing the stage. Nobody in the chairs. A smattering of comedians lined the outer edge, the wall, and the back seats. Nobody in the chairs up front. Nobody laughing.
Same.
Totally empty room. 4 p.m. Natural light coming in through the window. And you get played off stage if you overdo your time. So
Yeah.
they treat it like an open mic,
I-
even though there's nobody
That's-
fucking there.
That's the one thing that I need to learn to do, though, is like sometimes some comedians will overrun their time at
Mhm.
Cheers, and I don't.
Suge Nice.
Yeah,
Fuck
Suge
you,
Nice.
Suge.
Yeah. And I never like. I'm like, hey, he's kind of closing out this premise, only to then get into another one, and you're like, God damn it, we're just
You gotta play
rolling
the
into.
music.
Yeah.
That's when you got to
Yeah.
play the music. I did a show in Vegas at an open mic, and the two hosts there were really cool, but it was a really dingy, dark room, and they take paper that they crumple up into balls,
Mhm.
and then they duct tape it to make it look like a stone, and then they give baskets of this stuff to the crowd members. So like if the comedian isn't good, you start to get pelted with like these paper
tape balls?
duct tape balls, and like
Oh, but they're lightweight because it's paper.
It's not balls of tape. Yeah, that would be heavy. Yeah.
if there's ever
And it's like sticky on the outside, so it sticks to
yeah, but like what it did was
You
I
can't throw them; it's stuck to your hand. They all hit the floor.
I think I was the fifth one to go up, and what it did was for the few performers that were in front of me, they start to get hit like once they start to see that it's not going right for them, or they're starting to bomb, and like you literally will discover real fast. Can you recover quickly?
Distraction.
Or are you just gonna keep getting hit with these paper mache balls? And a lot of them couldn't handle it.
That's
I-
great.
That's tough.
I got thrown 3 or 4 my way, only when I brought up when I was a police officer.
Oh.
And then like I was like, I smell the rock and roll in the parking lot. I can rock with you guys. It's all good.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so I liked it because I recovered. So sometimes you need that recovery.
Mhm.
The Hideaway out in Avondale is a pretty hard one. Cole East hosts that one. Cole's my buddy, but with
Cole was
art,
there on Friday, right?
yeah, he
He's
was
the
there
guy who was
Friday.
handing out the
Yeah,
flyers.
yeah, he's got a lot of
Wow.
stuff going on. Um, I like that one's a hard room because you'll go with like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and you'll go on stage and it just all gets thrown to the side because there's a lot of like crowd interaction and you're like on the defensive, like, and you're fat and your mustache is crooked.
Oh, so
And
they just
it's
heckle? It's just a heckling
exactly,
room?
dude.
Oh,
It's
that's
just a,
so you want to get heckled.
Well, you gotta, because the funny thing is, like, if I'm just hanging with my buddies, I'm happy to rip. But when I get on stage, if trying to come up with a good, funny comeback that's witty and clever on stage is hard.
it's hard.
Sometimes to
It's hard.
do.
You'll get off stage and a minute will go by and you'll be like, God damn it,
Yeah.
why didn't I think of it? Son of a bitch, that would have been perfect.
Yeah, I watch like Nan when he went up a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. He
He's
took
getting
notes from
yeah.
everybody from their sets and like tried to like oh, let me talk shit about that. Sorry, which is
Yeah.
I think is a pretty fun way to go.
Yeah, he commented on Hillary is my really close friend, Hillary Matthews, and he commented on her broad shoulders, and it affected her. She was like, "Do I got broad shoulders? Do I really got broad?" I'm like, he's just needed something to say about it. You maybe take the padding out of the shoulder pads.
I was just stoked with Fire Marshal Jill from 2 weeks ago when I called Garrett.
Yeah,
Jill,
that was good.
because he's got the sharp jaw.
Yeah.
He's very.
Yeah,
He
you
kind
can
of does.
you can cut
He
fruit
got
with that
fast
jaw.
with
Yeah,
shit.
cut
Yeah,
that.
no shit. What the hell? Well, what do you got? You got anything you want to talk about? What did you have in your notes for the podcast?
There's all sorts of crazy. Did you hear? Did you hear about the guy that shot his ex-wife at Desert Ridge?
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
I don't know.
What are the co- what are
I don't know any of it. I gotta get
Were
a
you
hold
not
of my
sitting by your
connections.
police scanner? And...
The thing is,
You know who does is my uncle who we're gonna see today.
when
I'll still know. That's right.
maybe it's me. Maybe I didn't really have close friends as I thought I did in the police department. When I left, you instantly feel this like I never really played professional sports, but I would associate it as closest to like you are no longer part of the team. You are now
Right.
like a civilian or something. I do have a good group of close friends that are still involved, and if I were to reach out, they would tell them about it. But I literally just learned about it this morning from my wife.
Oh yeah.
She was the one that told me. She's like, "Hey, some guy shot his ex-wife," and I'm like, "See." The other thing I wanted to mention is, do you know any females that get heart attacks?
Hmm.
No, that's because they just faint on couches and eat grapes all day.
Like, heart attack is like one of the leading causes of death, but it only affects middle age to like, early 60s
That like
men who are literally just done of the like getting nagged and paying alimony. You know what? My heart is already checked out. I'm checking out too.
All right, let's look up. Do women? Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife said it
Oh,
goes
wait.
after menopause, it goes up 20%. I'm like, so it's now 20% of a chance that they die?
Yeah.
Because before menopause, it's gotta be at 0.
Key points about heart attacks in women. Not all women indeed have a heart. So it turns out
That would
so the
explain it.
20% that do,
yeah,
they're at risk.
that's why. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I like that one.
That is good.
And
What does it say? Yes, it is the leading cause of death for both men and women. They just don't talk about it when a women's heart goes-
even
goes
in death,
away.
they want to keep the weight a secret.
They
It
don't want-
it wasn't a weight situation, and she just, it was her time. She was 53. It's like-
That's very funny. Dude, I've been trying to talk my little brother into. I want to throw his joke under the bus so hard
Do it.
because it's a great joke.
As long
So-
as you
Yeah.
as long as you tag their name to give them credit, you're
He
okay.
hasn't told this on stage. I keep trying to talk him into
This
going on
was
stage.
supposed to be you and him.
He won't fucking do it.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
maybe then
He
you gotta
did
hold
that.
off. Then
No,
after
he's
the-
not doing it. I'm doing it. I'm throwing it
Oh,
under the
okay,
bus, and I can't steal it.
Nah.
Damn it.
You
It's
make
so
me feel like
good.
this is a first date. Are we gonna do this or not?
Yeah.
With the panties coming off.
All right, I'll tell you one of my jokes then. Here's my newest joke premise. I heard when I was down there, somebody mentioned being in menopause, and I was like, menopause? More like megapause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just hit me as funny. And then the other one was a couple of years ago. They were doing the run on banks, and I was like, I went to the bank, and I was like, get me my. You can't keep it. They won't give me or a withdrawal. I can't make a withdrawal. And they're like, sir, you're at the sperm bank.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun. That was a bomb in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you tell that one on stage?
I have not told that one on
Just
stage
recount.
yet. Yeah, this was the first crack at it. Yeah.
You've told me that before, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had the same. You got the same reaction then too.
Like this.
Well, you know, some things just they just
Listen.
need a word tweak or two.
Yeah, or it has to be current events because the run on banks has not happened for a while. But it's
Yeah.
about to with the economy the way it is.
Yeah, that's true.
We keep throwing our
I did I brought one of my old jokes back, and it didn't go over well at all. But when I used to do it back like in 2013-ish, it would kill the room. So I used to talk about like Tom Collins is a drink that you can get, and I don't know who Tom Collins is. Maybe he's like a famous actor
Isn't
back
he
in
a
the
musician?
day. Maybe he is a musician.
Tom
Who is he?
Collins?
I don't know. Keep
Right.
going though.
The drink after him, like
They
you
named
ever
a
saw?
glass after him.
Yeah,
It's a
right.
Collins glass. named
Yeah.
after the damn guy.
I was like, dude, like in 2013, there was like so much going on. I was like, I just think we should have more up to date drink specials. Like if I went to the counter and I said, hey, good bartender, I'll take a Charlie Sheen, a Belvedere vodka, some cocaine, a Whitney Houston,
And he punch you in the face.
Yeah, and they, you wake up in a bathtub after drinking, and now when I do that joke, it's like dead silence. So I just throw the too soon.
Tom Collins
afterwards.
is not the name of a real person.
Oh, really?
The Tom Collins cocktail, made with gin, lemon juice, simple syrup, and club soda, is named after a famous hoax that swept through New York and Philadelphia in 1874.
Jesus
The
Christ.
hoax involved people asking others if they knew Tom Collins. And when the person denied knowing him, the prankster would claim that Tom Collins was spreading rumors about this. This joke was so widespread it became known as the Great Tom Collins Hoax of 1874.
Dude,
That's amazing.
this
I
is
love that.
yeah.
Etymology.
That's crazy because there was no way to fact check that either. Like you would have
Yeah.
a farmer going like, "Mother, I'm gonna
Who the fuck is
who the
Tom
fuck's
Collins?
this Tom Collins?" And
You
if-
know Tom Collins?
Yeah.
He's been spreading rumors about you.
that's a very common name. There had to be like, oh yeah,
Right.
Tom Collins,
Yeah.
he's shine shoes.
Yeah.
And then that guy got pelted for no goddamn reason.
Tom Collins in every town was just the butt of the joke. And you're like, fuck, I've changed my name, I guess. I don't know how to get out.
Wishing you a nice how do you do, Tom, for talking them fucking lies about me. 18. That's hilarious.
That's how you used to line up for a fight.
Yeah, the chip
Yeah.
on your shoulder.
The fighting Irish.
Yeah, you ever hear the I love where stuff comes from. So if you have a chip on your shoulder, you've heard that?
No, hit me with that. You got that little
Have you
Google
never
search?
heard
I
it?
don't listen to.
But you know the saying.
Yeah, I've heard
Okay,
it.
yeah,
I've heard
your
it. So I'm
shoulder.
asking you.
Yeah.
You said, do you know where it comes from? I'm like, no, but I know you're gonna enlighten me now.
Yeah, back in the
I've
day.
learned more today here than in school.
Well,
Back in the
it's my
day
life
in the
every day.
schoolyard, if you wanted to fight, this is before anything.
Mm-hmm.
This was when you had I don't even know if they were backpacks. You would put a wood chip on your shoulder
Okay.
if you wanted to fight, and then if I was willing to fight, I would knock the chip off your shoulder, and then we would fight.
What?
That's where it came from. It was an old
He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's looking for
a fight.
a fight,
Yeah.
and something's causing him to.
And
Like,
if someone
fight it
wants to
off, like,
fight you,
so simple.
they'll knock
Why
the
is
chip off your
people
shoulder
start bringing that
and
back?
be like, "All right, I'm in."
People look down at their phones now all day long. They don't.
So
Yeah,
what we
they're
should
fighting.
do is you slap the phone out of their hands and you see if they want to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey man, what the fuck? Yeah. Let's go time. That's hilarious.
That'll cause a fight for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just
Whether they wanted it or not.
Yeah, you have a very wide range of trivia that's just stored. That's good for you.
Bullshit,
Yeah, good
all
for you, right?
captivated inside. Yeah,
Yeah.
what I try to do is collect as much information, and then I use it to make everyone around me feel stupid.
He's good at
Yeah.
that. He's
He's
good at
good at
that.
that, huh?
We never fight about that.
Yeah.
You know what? It works on stage, but also it doesn't. You can't. You what I've learned through comedy is expecting other people to put together the dots. You have to button it up for them
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
because most people aren't.
Especially in today's day and age.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, what was that guy's name that had his own TV show on HBO? Something Miller,
Dave,
Oh,
oh,
I know who you're talking
the
about.
late night guy?
the late night guy. He did NFL.
T.J. Miller,
No,
It's
no,
not Dave Miller. David Miller.
Steve Miller Band.
I don't
Dave,
know. God dang it.
Was it Steve
He was
it's
Matthews?
David
Are you sure
Miller.
it wasn't?
Yeah, it might be David Miller. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one.
He did the NFL for like a half a minute before they were like, "You're too smart. Nobody understands what you're saying." They kicked his ass off. But like he always had that really high intelligent form of comedy. And every time I watched it, I'd be like, I have no idea what this motherfucker's saying. Am I supposed to laugh?
Well, I think that it's good to have smart jokes, but
Dennis
the
Miller.
dots of
Dennis
Dennis
Miller.
Miller.
There we go.
Dennis Miller.
Jesus, I
Yeah.
can't
God, I know, right?
You were close.
believe
Yeah.
Shit.
David.
Yeah,
David.
sometimes you have to.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
dots
David
them.
Miller. We'll just go with David Miller.
You don't need to look it up.
It
It's
doesn't
fine.
even sound right.
Mm.
Dennis Miller.
Damn it,
Mm.
Miller. Yeah, no, the other thing about trying to get into comedy now is everybody's doing it. Like
Think so?
everybody has I think so. I
It's
think
more of a hobby now than.
because we were looking at moving to Austin, and
Yeah, where are you originally from?
from here.
You're from here?
Yeah.
Where's Zonies?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I grew up here. I was actually born in Virginia, but my parents were like pregnant in Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
drove to Virginia, had me, tried some opportunities out there with my dad's old family.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work, so we moved back here before I was 1.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I was born on the run, is what I like
You
to
were
tell
even there
people.
for a year. That's crazy.
And then you were born here and then raised partly in Tennessee, right?
I was born here, but I spent like my childhood here in Phoenix, and then we were in Nashville for high school,
Mm.
mostly. And then I was there post college and in and out for 10 years.
Well, the only reason why I ask is like Phoenix, especially like in the last year or two, has a very strong comic demographic, if you will. There's a lot of clubs.
The hard part is there's no place where you can go where there's a strip. Like
Yeah.
Austin has a strip of clubs right clustered together, so you can go hit like 2, 3, 4 mics
Yeah.
every night of the week. And here it's spaced out and it's all around the city, and a lot of it is really, honestly, doing your open mic has refreshed my desire to work Phoenix more
Hmm.
because I was really feeling disappointed about the quality of the mics. I know there are a lot of mics,
Yeah.
and there is Phoenix is a destination for big acts to come through, but it's really not a place to propagate comedians.
Yeah.
Or hasn't been. But I think what we need to find, and this ties back, call all the way back to the beginning of the episode, where up top I say I think it comes down to a clique of homies. There's, when you come up as a comedian, all the comedians who come up with a group of
That's
other
true.
comedians. So like when
What
we're
is what would your idea then be, like, to go maybe East Coast, go to LA?
Well, that's the whole thing. You go to LA or you go to New York or you go to Austin. I don't like LA. I don't like New York. Love Austin. But I
Mhm.
also love my house and life here, and it's very well set up and we're well perched and kind of established. But I like shaking it up. I've, traveled a bunch, and I did 10 years
I'm down.
out and about. To
Because
go to Austin or to
I'm
do shit
down.
here?
No, I'm down to start going
Yeah.
other places. And I know a lot of
Hell
comedians.
yeah.
I know a lot of comedians that are as well. And yeah, I'm right there with you that I couldn't like up and move. But like, if you picked a weekend or a week and you're like, hey, we're gonna hit up all these clubs in Austin, or we're gonna, I'd never been
Oh no!
outside.
And all the wives
Well-
here like.
Well, that's a year
Of course.
comedian. If you want,
Yeah, you're a
Not
comedian. Yeah.
you will be soon.
Yeah,
When you
like
get those mics.
when I went out to Vegas and I said I was gonna start doing some shows out there, I spent that whole week that I was there telling people I was a comedian.
Mhm.
I've been doing stand up since 2013. This was just this past May that I went to Vegas. And
Yeah, you had gone right before we met. You got back, you
yeah,
were telling me about your
and
trip.
that was the first time that I actually told people I'm a comedian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like it doesn't pay a
Instead of
salary.
retired cop.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a landscaper now, and that's what I am. I trim trees. It's what pays the bills. One day I would like it to not be that
Yeah,
case, but that was the first time where like and I think you have to be in that mindset. You
yeah,
got to say I'm a comedian.
yep.
Anytime you're trying to make somebody laugh, you're a comedian. You're a comedian. So,
Dude, and whenever people, if you say it to people,
mhm,
they that ingratiates you to them like immediately. Like everybody wants to be like, "Oh, it's really?
yeah,
Oh, what are you? Where are you? What's fun?" Like
yeah.
everyone is into it.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's like overwhelming support and like
Yeah, like,
engagement.
I had like 10 people come out to that show. The place was called the Dive Bar. I had like 10 people come out to that show because I literally, hours before going to do my set, I was in the cigar bar and I'm like, I have a show at 8 o'clock. You're more than welcome to come. And then people are like, who is this guy? He's somebody. We got to go see this
That's
guy.
great.
Yeah,
And
that's,
then you had duct tape thrown at you.
yeah, then I had duct tape
Yeah.
thrown at me.
You're like, no, I do a show. Come see me. Get pelted on
Mhm.
stage by people who are tired of whatever the fuck I'm saying.
It's like you don't know what to expect. I pushed the door open to that place, and the first person I saw in there was completely painted from head to toe in red paint with devil's horns
Oh
and a
geez.
tail sticking out of his head.
Oh
He
geez.
looked like one of them, like half goat, half
Oh wow.
yeah,
Centaur.
centaur. And I was like, what
That
the?
sounds like the devil.
Yeah. And then there was a guy dressed as like a king with a crown. It was like a very yeah, it was a messed up room, but I had fun.
Wow, that's what.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
like who
that is what
cares
it's
if you
about.
pay the bills with it or not? I mean,
But what we should do is
most people have to like have something to pay the bills.
we should get a group of us together. So one thing I noticed when we after the show, like Garrett is I think he wants to do it. Your buddy with the handing out the flyers, what's his name?
Oh, Cole East, yeah.
What is it?
Cole.
Cole.
Oh,
He obviously is doing it. You know, I don't. It seems like maybe he's one man bandish, but I don't
Yeah.
know him, so I
Yeah, I
don't
know.
really know. But the other young guy who is like kind of short, John. I've seen him there like every time.
who's the guy who
Patrick, what's his
speaks
name?
Oh,
Friday?
Casey.
His name is
Casey.
Casey too.
Yeah,
That's
Casey.
funny.
Oh,
That's very Casey
was
Rocket.
I told Greg, I was like, he's got Casey Rocket vibes, big time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
Casey is a
he was so
very
funny. He was hilarious.
Casey's hilarious. I call him the hardest working comedian in the valley.
yeah, and Cole thought you were talking
Yeah,
about him.
and
That
it's
was
Ah,
so funny. He
really?
threw
and
himself
it's
right under the. He's like,
yeah.
I wanted to go up later, and you're like, I wasn't fucking talking to you.
Yeah, and I call Casey the hard. It's crazy. Like Cole is known that I've called Casey the hardest. He walks to all of his open mics.
Is he like unhoused, as they
He's-
say? And also, why didn't he use the
No.
mic instead? He's walking around with the little.
Yeah.
It was funny. The bit was kind of
I've
funny.
never seen that before. That's why I was like, "Thank you for coming right after your windy shift."
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely Jack in the
I'll
Box.
take a yeah. I'll
That
take
was
I'll take a jumbo jack, Casey.
that was strange, but I liked it. I don't know if I want him in my car. I haven't smelled him, so you know.
Love you, Casey. Yeah,
Don't worry, Casey will never hear this. Neither
No.
will anybody else.
yeah, you need internet.
This is where we say we never.
Internet.
You need an electronic.
You need an electronic device.
The game on this podcast is there is a bus and everyone goes under it.
Yeah.
Everyone and anyone goes under the bus and it's all in good fun. If you can't handle it, turn it the fuck off. We don't give
Yeah.
a shit about your feelings around here.
Yeah.
My whole joy in life is bullying. Like bully people it makes better people
Yeah.
Mhm.
out of people.
Bullying, I know we're probably running way over time,
Fuck it. We're good, man.
but bullying, I do a bit about bullying.
Over time. Yeah, we have the
Oh.
next people are coming in. so.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
real people, we got to get you out of here.
You're the fluff. You're the
No,
fluffer.
bullying is what made me who I am today.
Mhm.
Okay? Like these kids grow up and they want to shoot up the schools. Like we bullied our best friends.
Yeah.
We bullied our best friend. My best friend, you can't have children because I think we kicked him in his nuts so many times
Yeah.
that they don't work. And I'm not trying to be funny. I think that's true state.
No, I think it's good. I didn't really get bullied when I was growing up.
You were an only child, so you didn't
I was an
understand
only child. I didn't
how to
really
be.
have a lot of friends.
And she's also attractive, you know.
But yeah,
There
I
is
think
that.
that's
But when you're
yeah.
like,
Are we
you know,
listening earlier? She used to be fat, so.
oh,
Yeah.
yes,
No, but my stepdad kind of bullied me quite a bit. Quite a bit.
yeah,
In his
it
own way.
toughs you up.
I
Some
mean,
brother, something
Thunder
like that.
Thighs was definitely a nickname all through growing
Oh,
up.
Under the bus, Rich. Under the bus, pal.
that was your father.
He'd
That
be
was
like,
your.
Thunder Thigh, and then you like go and grab my
Oh,
leg.
was that was your
Yeah.
father doing that?
Stepdad.
Stepdad
Stepdad?
married when I was like 5.
Okay, but see, as a father, I would probably do, my daughter's the youngest, but I would probably do that too because I need to get this self-conscious chick. I don't need all these men coming over to the house,
Yeah.
you know, like knocking on my door. And I gotta get her like where she locks herself in the room and where
Make her
she,
self-conscious.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. That's right. Go lock yourself in the room right there. My 2 sons. I'm like, you get out there and you deliver the goods.
Cause some
But
mayhem.
It's good. I think bullying is good.
bullying is
Yeah.
it's good.
But I think it would be fun to have a group of us that, that are serious about it, that hit a few mics a week consistently.
Yeah.
That's how you get it. And we should all be, what we should do is
You got a Winnebago?
we should go walk in on the Stir Crazy. Have you gone up over there?
I've never done Stir
You
Crazy.
got to do it. So it's a proper show.
Yeah.
The reason that I love Stir Crazy, and it will
Thanks,
spoil you. I'm really stoked that it was my first place that I did it because it's a fucking sold out show. It's a dark room. It sells out every time. So get signed up. Sign up is today in
I'm gonna have to sign
half
up.
an hour.
They have a burger and beer special for
We are
$10.
gonna sign up.
Oh, dude,
That's what I go
We're
for.
gonna put your name on the list. We're gonna maybe you'll get drawn. Hopefully
Yeah,
you do.
fuck yeah, do it.
But Wednesday, you're gonna do it. So
You'll probably get drawn because you haven't done it before.
and here's the
Do it.
thing.
I'm
It's
excited.
3 minutes. If you bring 3 people,
Mhm.
you get 7 minutes.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's a full
Unless
set.
you're Ray Stone,
Fuck yeah.
Unless you're Ray Stone, you get
5 to
you
7
still get
minutes.
3.
So the first time I brought people, and I brought 7 people.
right.
Not
You
two
got
people.
7
My first
friends.
time- this was my first
You
time
got
seeing
7
him.
friends.
Well,
And-
one of them's a brother.
And as I went up,
his girlfriend.
Do you know I've been doing? My parents do not come to anything I
oh,
do.
I don't invite my parents to this.
Fight the world. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did a Bring 'em show at Stand Up Live downtown.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of similar to what you're saying about, but they didn't sell out. You had a good amount of people there, but you didn't. And I told 20 some people, I had one person show up.
Yeah. Dude, this is a
Yeah.
real show. You got to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's you will fucking shit. It's 100 to 120 people depending on how many comics are
Done.
there.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's a dark,
Room.
tight room, low ceilings, proper stage with the brick backdrop,
Mhm.
Stir Crazy up here,
The
and
inner depression of the
and you-
comedian.
and you eat
Everything
it,
is
yeah.
there.
And you eat it or you don't.
Oh,
The
yeah.
crowd can be hot or not. It's often not hot, So
You-
your job is to be entertaining. If you can't get laughter, at least keep their attention.
Yeah.
And cut.
How do you react now? Because you're kind of somewhat.
I sweat
new.
through my fucking shirt.
So if
man.
you feel like because it's all a feeling.
Here's what I do, bro. I prepare a proper set.
Okay.
For that show, I memorize it. I get my shit down. I work on it all day. And I go up and I at least have a real set that is all the way through, but I've never repeated a joke on that stage.
Okay.
I always do new material, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
But do you feel like if you were to feel like it's not going, because it's all a feeling is what I'm trying to get at,
Mhm.
and you start to feel like you're not doing your best or whatever, how are you at this stage right now in this career?
Move on. Keep going.
See, there you go.
He calls
Go to
himself
the next
out.
joke.
He
Oh, hell
calls
yeah.
himself out, and then the crowd finally laughs.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he moves on to the next joke.
No,
Because I used to care.
Some of the funniest shit is like if I abandon a joke midstream, I'm like, you know what? We're not doing this. People laugh at that because the tension is high and you just cut it.
Yeah.
You're nailing everything. So like I said, I've been doing it since 2013. And the first year was always like, I want the people to like me. I want them to think I'm funny. then I started to realize funny is like it's I want to say probably half of the battle. The other half is showing I'm a person that you can relate with
First,
first and
first,
foremost.
you have
Yeah.
to be relatable.
Yeah.
They gotta. You're
Mhm.
saying it exactly right. It is so hard to go up. I see people do it all the time where they go up and they assume everyone relates to the premise.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, no, you have to get them to relate to it
Yeah.
first. You have to get them like on your side, bring them into a little piece of
Mhm.
your life, and then, make it embarrassing or fun and funny or whatever the fuck you're trying. But definitely I mean, some jokes don't hit. If it's dead, usually you get a chuckle. At
Mhm.
least when you got 100 people, somebody's going to chuckle, so it's okay.
Yeah.
So you get one chuckle, you're good to go. If you get a room pop, it feels amazing.
Oh, it's heroin.
And
And I've never done any drugs
Yeah.
dude,
ever.
and then when like I've learned,
Down tablets is as
I've
hard as I've ever gone.
go out on a laugh.
Mhm.
Don't try to add something. If you got a good laugh and you've already got the light, that's good.
Yeah.
For me, because I'm like, I want to go out on a high note because that's when they're going to remember.
I always leave early. I mean, when you come out to Cheers, I'm hosting, but when I do my sets at other places or whatever, I very rarely overrun or whatever.
Right.
I always leave, and in the part of leaving, kind of before, like when you say, "Hey guys, that's all I got. That's my time,"
Yeah.
before you even get the light or whatever. Especially when you did well and you got the room to laugh,
Mhm.
people are like, "Wow!"
Yeah, I
They
want
want
more.
more. Yeah, they get excited when they
Yep.
see you again.
One of the very first like rewards I got. It's funny you bring that up. Was I said that's my time. I'm Ray, and one audience member goes, "Ah,"
Yeah,
like wanted more, and I was like, "One fan,
okay,
fan,
that's right.
not the one."
Thank you, mom.
And it was, dude, I love going down when nobody I know is there, but it's really fun when you bring some people and like, try to forget that they're there or, it naturally just happens
I'll never forget the first time you brought me to comedy. We were dating for like a month
Mhm.
and I was so scared. I was probably sweating more than you were.
Yeah,
But I
'Cause I was
did
like,
good.
if, if I
I
don't
had
like
a hot
his
crowd.
jokes, if I don't like his comedy, this isn't gonna
Yeah.
I
work out.
I I knew I knew I wanted to do it like my entire life. Um, like in like grade school, like when you transition from grade school and go into like middle school, I don't know what if you we had like this um most person to be a mom, most person to sell
Yeah, yeah,
those
most likely. Yeah. Huh?
like literally my sixth grade was like this guy's gonna host at a comedy castle.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, swear to God.
That's funny.
I love
And because I've been like this my entire life, always just trying to make people laugh. And you never do it because you just life gets in the way, you start
Yeah.
doing stuff. So in 2013, when I started saying I gotta go out, there was a place out in Scottsdale, and it was a great place, but they closed. They had financial problems, but it was amazing. And I kind of briefly got that sense of there was a group of us getting together, like you were talking about, like
Mhm.
a clique, and it was developing and it was amazing. And I remember my wife was like, "You're really gonna go up there? Really gonna go up there? Aren't you worried?" I'm like, "I don't give a fuck.
it.
I'm gonna do it."
Yeah.
And honestly, if that club was still there, makes you wonder like how far
Yeah.
you would have
Yeah,
gotten.
yeah.
Mhm.
Really, it is stick to it. It's like
Yeah.
this is the game. I started 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years in December. But I only do that open mic, so I've only gone up like I don't know 20 something times.
Mhm,
But I practice a ton and I take it seriously.
mhm.
And it's like, and then also we do this, and so this helps talking into the mic, just having the mic in front of your face.
Yeah,
That's one of the things that
getting
when you
comfortable.
go
Yeah.
up on stage, you don't even think that this is going to be a distraction. Then it's going to be the lights are a distraction and you're going to try to everything's going to try to shut off on you and you're going to forget everything that you thought of and then try to be funny and then you're like, I'm done early, this is over, goodbye, I'm sorry for everything.
Do you do you find yourself panning the crowd and locking eyes with a person?
I try to click in with every corner and I will look at an
Yeah,
individual.
'cause I've done stuff where, like, I'll do that, and then, like, the one person that comes to mind, I don't even know who they are, but it was a female, and she was at that stand up live, and like she was laughing at like everything that I was saying, like hysterically. Very close to almost having her fall out of her chair.
Oh, nice.
And so yeah, right. So I like locked in, and I'm like like I would then kind of like pan, but then I'd go back,
It's
like
just for
just
her.
constantly punching you in the face, lady. And like if you can do that too,
Get
then
one locked
get
in.
one
Yeah,
locked
yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
then pan away, then come back, constantly just giving them slaps in the faces.
Well, it's fun. I mean, the whole thing is fun. It's just an adventure and it's challenging and difficult and it gets your adrenaline running. It's like the best thing going and it's such an immediate feedback response mechanism to if you did well,
Yeah.
you can't fake it. There's no guitar to hide behind. The music, if you're
It's the hardest form of
it
entertainment.
is definitely
Yeah.
the hardest
It's the
part.
hardest form of entertainment.
Yeah. And we're doing it. And
Yeah.
you're next.
I'll go up. I'll tell my few jokes.
Yeah.
I got
All
a
right.
few.
Well, we have got to wrap this up,
Yeah,
but
we
man,
gotta
this has
go.
been
This
so
is
fun. Sal,
I had a
thanks
blast.
for
I had a
Thanks for being our
blast.
guest.
yeah,
Thank
thanks
you.
for
Thank you
coming
for
on.
this spritzy water right
Yeah,
here.
You're
sitting in
welcome.
the
This
hot
is
seat, fucking
yeah.
down the middle, right between the uprights,
Hmm.
square between the eyes, and we're gonna get off of this and go do another thing. But join us next week for all of this is temporary. Thanks for joining us this week, and we will see you in the future. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.